Right, I'm fucking off the pinball.
Turn the TV off so you can't even look at it.
No.
There you go. You get
Oh
nothing.
man, my belly's going all funny. All right, cool.
Did you get sausage? Did you get vegan sausage rolls?
Yeah, I did.
Oh,
I had 2 sausage rolls and a Subway.
Oh, fucking hell.
Well, because I'm probably not going to eat again until later on, so I thought I'd
treat yourself.
treat myself. And like, I needed some kind of vegetable.
Did you get me anything?
No.
Oh, okay.
I
Right,
didn't know you
my
wanted
flat,
something.
like stay here. You know.
You should have said. I would have got you something.
Whose idea was the podcast?
Mine.
It's-
Yeah, well, you're even then, aren't you?
Yeah, I like you, Ryan. Yeah, let's get
see how
cracking.
this podcast is gonna go.
It's meandering movies. It's meandering movies. It's meandering movies. So won't you lend an ear?
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Meandering Movie Podcast, where we sit around talking about movies and pretty much everything else that comes into our head. I am Gary Copeland.
I am the baby daddy, Gavi.
It's not a good one. Bad one this week. And
Gavi.
Gavi.
the Daddy Babby Gavi.
Baby daddy Gavi.
And joining us, we've got a special guest this week.
Yeah.
We have Gavin's mate.
You can introduce yourself.
I introduced myself.
Yeah.
Ryan.
There we go. This is Ryan.
Just
everyone.
Ryan.
Mate.
Just Ryan.
Just
Just
Ryan.
Ryan.
Just Ryan.
Our resident DC expert, which ties in nicely.
Oh, we've
Expert.
We've set
Expert.
you up right off the bat.
That's what I've been told.
I mean, you
and the
know-
reason we got you in this week is because we're going to be talking about, well, Shazam is out today, as long as
If this episode goes up when
as
it
long
should,
as everything goes right.
Shazam is out today in cinemas for you to go and watch.
Shazam should be out today.
If
So we wanted
not-
to,
We're currently on the second installment of the new Batman's film.
yeah. So we wanted to talk about Shazam specifically, and
Well, not specifically. We're gonna. Well,
and
okay.
there was an and. I was,
Okay. Oh, sorry.
I was finishing
I
that.
was stepping all over your intro, aren't
Yeah.
I? Okay.
And
I'll back off.
moving into the greater DC universe as thereafter.
And how great it is, right,
Well, yeah.
guys?
And as always, I think we'll do our loose overview, which
Yeah.
we won't stick to.
No.
So, Shazam and thoughts for Shazam, DC and why it's bad/good, and where DC's probably going to go.
yeah.
Probably the 3 topics.
Plus, from what I know from Ryan's knowledge, there'll be some chat of DC things beyond the movies because
Can we talk about the big bat lives under Gotham?
Yeah, we're
What's it
gonna
called? Barbatus?
Man-Bat.
that's
No,
gonna
no,
be
no.
No.
that's gonna
Man-Bat
be
does
the-
live under Gotham.
Man, you know the one, the big demon bat that stole all the Batmans from the other universes and made them evil. The Joker Batman.
Oh, he's called
Barbat.
yeah,
Steve.
Steve
Big,
Bat.
big
Steve the
Steve Bat.
Steve the
Steve Bat.
Did you ever
demon
play
Barbat.
the Arkham games where there's that moment where you're just gliding around
Oh,
and
that
then
jump fright
and then Man-Bat just comes out and just
Yeah.
fucking that's
terrified me.
everyone I think jumped at that bit.
Those games got mental though.
Like, yeah, fucking with the Batmobile, and I was like, why is the Batmobile in this game? And what?
Yeah, the last one was that the Arkham Knight one.
Yeah.
Arkham Knight. Yeah.
Obviously, the big thing about the game was who was the Arkham
Who's
Knight.
Arkham Knight? Who's Arkham
And
Knight?
they came out and they were like, oh yeah, we've made a brand new Batman villain. No, and it's it's got nothing. It's brand new. You're all gonna be
Yeah.
super excited to see it. And then I got like halfway through the game and it was talking about Jason Todd,
Yeah.
and I went, oh okay, but it can't be Jason Todd because they said it's not a Batman villain. But it seems like they're doing Red Hood. And then it got a little bit further. I was like, that's Red Hood. Like it can't be anyone
And
else.
then the big reveal of it's Jason Todd.
Yeah,
You're
it's
like,
Jason Todd. It's
Yep.
Red Hood.
And then the main thing was as well was loads of fans said before it was coming out, oh, it's definitely Jason Todd, and they came out exclusively and said it's not
Yeah.
Jason Todd.
Rocksteady
It's
lied
just a
to
bullshit lie.
us. It's not a lie. Just keep the
it's-
hype going.
It's called marketing.
Yeah.
So, Shazam.
Shazam.
Thoughts around the
Indeed.
table?
Well-
Philip, do you want to get involved in this one, audio boy?
Looks alright. I don't know.
Thanks. Good
stuff.
Sorry about
You're welcome.
Is anyone excited for Shazam?
No.
See, I'm not. I wouldn't say
I mean,
excited.
you're quite a positive person.
Excited is not the right word. I would
You-
say I'm interested
Interested.
because it seems like they're going down a completely different route than anything else
Does
they've
it?
done.
My-
Yeah, well, because it's up until this point, DC have been flogging the dark and gritty horse, and Shazam. Although a lot of the film looks quite dark, Shazam's outfit is bright red and yellow,
Yeah.
and it's got Zachary Levi being goofy, and it's full of jokes, and it
A bunch of
seems like
memes
they're-
and shit.
yeah, it
him
seems like they're
flossing.
trying to make it fun,
More lighthearted.
more light-hearted. Yeah,
Yeah, but it's like balloons at a funeral. Like it's dead.
yeah I mean,
It's too late.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Stop it. It's too late.
That's
the
a
ship has sailed.
perfect analogy.
Yeah.
You've not put the work in that Marvel have.
No,
But
because
then at least this feels like they're trying now, I guess, because it's
does it though?
Too little, too late.
well,
I mean,
yeah,
with
but it's a brand new hero.
With that trailer, all I get is one. It's so grey. There's no color in that film apart from Shazam's
apart from the
suit.
outfit, yeah.
And then I can already predict how that plot's going to play out just from those trailers, and it's like I don't give two fucks. Like,
And I think like when it came out, like they really marketed it on The Rock is on board. He is going to be Black Adam.
yeah,
Our
Yeah.
challenge is finding someone as big as The Rock to play Shazam.
Let's
and
get Zachary
they
Levi
went
and
for
just
the
put him
guy
in a
from
fucking
Chuck.
Yeah,
inflatable suit.
failed that. At one point, it was like, oh, we're going to have John Cena doing it. I think, fuck, they didn't do that.
I'm like, oh. I mean, that would have been kind of beautiful, but
The
also a
Rock
train
and
wreck.
John Cena. I would
So,
watch that.
but then they've made it and then they've released it and like The Rock's not involved. Black Adam's not in it. There might be a cutscene.
Oh,
at
is
the
he
end.
not?
No.
Oh, okay.
Mark Strong plays the villain in it, and I'm not even sure which villain
He plays
he plays.
bald guy with electricity powers.
Yeah. Which I'm pretty sure he's in
Electro?
all his films.
Yeah, he's and the Kingsman. He was the bald guy and probably shot electricity. So I mean, that second film went off the fucking rails. The second Kingsman film, so he might have had electricity powers. I have no idea because they bring people back from the dead in that film.
Do they?
Oh yeah, because
I've not seen the second one because the first one was dog shit.
thank you, someone who agrees with me that the first Kingsman is a dog shit movie.
First Kingsman's good fun.
No, it isn't.
I do not think it's not good fun. I have to be in
Oh,
the middle.
yeah.
It is good fun, but it's dog shit.
But it's dog shit.
It's mind numbing.
And then
I finished watching it. I was like, I know less stuff now.
More
'Cause
brain cells
Colin
died
Firth,
viewing that.
is it Colin Firth?
Colin Firth.
Yeah.
Colin
He
Firth.
dies in the first one. They just bring him back in the second one.
With and they
Yeah,
did
with
their-
an eye patch though, right?
He did
Yeah.
have an eye patch.
Yeah,
He
that's
lost his depth perception as well. If you come at him from the right hand side, he can't see you.
Wow.
They do that in the film. They
Yeah,
play
but
that
then
off
in
as
the
a
final
joke.
fight scene, that's if that isn't a factor, and he just fucking beasts through people like they don't exist.
I'm pretty sure he misses a chair at one point.
It is the coolest Colin Firth has ever looked in a film though.
I mean, have you seen him in A Single Man? That's a.
I mean, like shooting people.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because usually he's just wooing ladies in London.
Or he's in the King's Speech and he's just kind of.
Yeah, stuttering.
Stuttering about.
Shouting fuck into a microphone. Yeah.
Imagine those
Fuck.
eating out skills you'd have with all that stuttering. You could do something. You get away with something there.
I don't think you should ever eat anyone
So
out.
Mark
if that's
Strong
what-
is playing Dr. Thaddeus Shavana.
That is.
Thaddeus Shavana.
Shavana?
So, and that's the question actually. I don't know if you know this. I always thought Shazam in the comics, when he Shazammed and became Shazam, had agency. Wasn't. But in this film, it looks like it's the little kid in a fully grown man's body.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure in the earlier comments, like when he Shazammed, Shazam was like, it's almost like a Bruce Banner and the Hulk deal. Like there was two different people.
That's what I thought.
But in the film, it
It
seems
totally
like
looks
he's
like
just
he's got
the
Shazam's body, but he's still
Well,
just a
they've
kid.
said
head.
in like the marketing stuff that the main influence for this film was Tom Hanks' Big, which is just a kid in a man's body, and that was the influence for Shazam. So
Why?
But I think that's the main one. It's too much. It's gone too far. Like, and I'm in the trailer. He's dabbing and flossing.
Yeah.
And I'm just not
'cause
interested.
they're definitely trying to be like, we want to be fun and cookie like the Marvel movies. So let's just
This feels like the Guardians of the Galaxy.
attempt, yeah.
But yeah, it's,
But then
it's
so
the
did
same
Suicide,
idea.
Suicide Squad tried to be fun and kind of cookie and stuff, but it was just
But
a
it wasn't.
nightmarish,
Yeah.
confused mess of
Yeah.
something.
But this feels like like they're going down the full-on comedy route, comedy superhero,
Yeah.
and Shazam is a boy and he can punch through a wall, and he's like, "Oh, did I do that?"
You can
his little
drink
friends like
beer and
"Oh."
stuff.
Steve Urkel. Is that like,
Was it Steve Urkel?
did I do that?
Oh, is that?
Yeah.
Do you think they'll have the same like messed up situation that happens in Big, which is that's a kid in a man's body who then has sex with like a
That's definitely
32-year-old
going to come into
woman?
play. There's
100%.
100% going to be a joke where some woman fancies him because he's so buff, and
Yeah.
he might get an awkward boner. Depends how far into the immature.
Will that
Jokes
awkward
they go
boner
there.
show through that big muscle suit though?
Oh no, but they'll do the whole he looks down and then goes ooh and covers himself and
with his cape. No, because
Oh, yeah.
Shazam's cape is notoriously short.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
so I can't.
Do you think like he feels like lesser when he's around Superman and Superman's got his big fuck off cape and he's like, why is Superman like
Yeah, Batman's covering himself up in his cape. Shazam's cape doesn't even go over his head.
And yeah, I think I made a joke about it at the beginning. Who is Shazam? Is I know Hera, Zeus, no Hercules,
Hercules, Zeus,
Ares.
Ares,
It's
I've
four more.
lost the letters we were on.
S. The S.
S is like
for-
Solomon, Hercules, Atlas, Zeus, Achilles, Mercury.
Oh, so Ares wasn't even one of them.
yeah,
No.
different god.
Wait, isn't Mercury a Roman god? And
So-
some of those were Greek?
Yeah, there is like they are mixed because they both
Oh.
live in the universe. The same as the Marvel universe have both Norse gods and
And God with a
And-
capital G.
Greek gods and stuff as well.
And ego. So.
Yeah,
I just with these DC films.
It is an odd choice. It's an odd choice as well because I didn't think
I mean, here's the
Shazam
most
had
amazing
much
thing
traction.
is
I don't.
when,
Yeah, out of all the characters you could have a standalone film on,
Why
that
Shazam?
even one that you're gonna like, you could. There's characters you could add comedy in. Like, there's no reason why they couldn't have had the same comedy factor in the Flash film.
Yeah.
But all we've seen of Barry Allen so far is Ezra Miller being grossly underused, and it's all really serious and like. But Barry Allen's character is quite a serious person. If I can't remember what TV show said yes to this idea, but they hadn't fucking made that Arrow TV show.
Yeah.
Where the main comedy character in all of DC is the Green Arrow because he's meant to be like this sort of Robin Hoody kind of guy. Instead, Stephen Amell plays Batman for 5 seasons with a bow and arrow.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
They're like, we can't do a Batman TV show because we need him for the movies, so we'll just do Arrow, but make it Batman.
Make it
It's like,
Batman, yeah.
cool. I'm just not gonna watch that.
And in fact, I'll start big. I'll go out there. The Flash TV show is probably one of the most successful things DC's ever done.
Yeah.
In terms of its narrative, in terms of the way it's structurally using things. In the first 2 seasons, I would say, it kind of breaks down after that, and they kind of get caught up in their own
He just
bullshit.
fights another person that's fast.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this guy's fast, but he's faster than that last one. So,
But yeah,
But
the
they all
character,
share the share the Speed Force,
yeah,
right? That's
the character
Flash's
development
thing.
of like Zoom and stuff, and Dr. Zolomon, Hunter Zolomon, and stuff like that, and like this, the best those characters have been played, because the guy who plays him in the like I think it's Zoom is in the second season, and he's scary as fuck, like this black like
yeah, it's kind of monster.
yeah,
looking
and it's
thing.
the guy who's a Candyman that does his voice.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I can't remember what that guy's called, but he's in it. He's famous because his voice is creepy as
Candyman.
fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's everyone. All anyone needs to know.
It's
the
that guy
from
who does
Candyman.
his voice, and yeah, it's so class. And then the twist was a bit shit, I think. And then, yeah, but they also didn't have a huge budget because every time he was fighting like King Sharks in it at some point,
Or,
and
Gorilla
Gorilla Grodd
Grodd,
was in it
which
as well.
looked- I mean,
They did Flashpoint Paradox as well, though, didn't they? Kind of.
They tried,
Right. Okay.
but also Flashpoint Paradox requires a lot of characters that they don't have
Yeah.
access to. So but I think
Because I mean, just so you know, I don't watch much TV whatsoever. I mean, I watch the occasional show, but as far as the DC TV shows, Marvel TV shows, all these ones, like I'm pretty much in the dark. I know what people have told me, and I know things I've picked up, but I don't know the like again. So I thought they did Flashpoint Paradox, but
they did a version of it. But there's multiple time travel plots in the show, but I've not watched it all.
yeah, I watched first season of Flash, and I was like, I'm just not interested in another procedural like kind of thing. Arrow, I barely made it through season 1. I was just like, cannot not. And then Supergirl, I was like, nope. And Legends of Tomorrow, never even thought about it.
Yeah, those two I didn't bother with
I
either.
was like, not doing this. And then they do crossover stuff, and every so often I'll drop in to watch the crossover stuff because it's
Yeah.
quite interestingly done. But
so you're just watching the crossover episodes.
because I like it's on the TV, I'll just drop in. I'll see like all these characters
I haven't
bouncing
got a
off.
fucking clue what's going on, but there's
No.
Supergirl and the Flash
But
together.
sometimes like the crossovers will just be like stories pulled from like comics or stuff like
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
that
yeah.
or other movies that have happened before. But once again, when it comes to Marvel versus DC in the cinematic kind of visual landscape, the Marvel TV shows are better than the DC TV shows.
Yeah.
And because Daredevil season 1, I think still stands as the best like superhero TV show from either Marvel or DC. Like
I
that-
think Daredevil season 1.5.
oh yeah, the
The first half of season 2 is as
real
good,
good.
but then when the
Like-
Punisher stuff stops and the Electro stuff
Yeah,
starts,
Electro
and all
starts,
that
that
gets kind of weird and
Goes real
confused.
downhill.
But yeah, 1.5 is so good.
And then
Jessica
first
Jones season
stuff.
1 also is class,
But
but
it's
that's
like-
David Tennant.
The problem with Jessica Jones season 1 is it's 13 episodes, but it only has enough story for like 9 episodes, and it just drags out and runs at a
I
steam.
mean, that's the problem with TV.
Yeah, that's the same
yeah.
with like the Flash and stuff. Is it's a huge American TV show, so
Like
like
24
24
episodes or something?
episodes,
Yeah, any
mid-season,
24 episode series,
mid-season
is
finale and stuff like
ridiculous.
that.
Yeah, they'll literally have episodes where it's like, oh, this episode's a musical episode because why the fuck
Yeah.
not?
Or
It's like,
this episode, Flash decides he wants to get the best pasta in town, so he's just gonna
Get it?
zip around eating spaghetti.
Yeah, it's basically like
45 minutes.
there's some episodes that are like
Oh
carbonara.
shit! There's a bad guy though stealing spaghetti. Now they fight. There you go.
it's Mario
One. It's Mario.
taking it back.
Mario.
Grand pricks. So yeah, no. So it's interesting though. So the DC, because you're right. I think DC are more successful with their TV shows. The films, I mean, other than Aquaman, which made a boatload of money.
So much fucking money, it's insane.
Other than Aquaman, the DC
which just makes me sad.
universe films are kind of just floundering. But what I like, I think my favorite thing that DC are putting out is the animated movies.
Yeah, their animated movies are so good.
The animated movies are fucking amazingly good, and
Yeah.
it's so weird that they seem. I've looked into this. They don't seem to make much money at all, and they're all straight to kind of digital release and
think
Blu-ray.
the way
But they just keep churning them out.
the way they do it is there's a small enough but loyal enough like DC fan
Yeah.
base who like DC knows if they put out an animated film, those people are going to show up. They're going to watch it. They're going to pay for it. They're going to enjoy it. And because of that, also there aren't the same restrictions on the animated movies, so they can be a bit more kind of violent, or like if you look like Dark Knight Returns and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's just bloody and messy and.
Well, no, it did Dark Knight Returns properly. That's
Yeah.
what's so good about it.
And like they were starting that game early. Like Mask of the Phantasm came out in '93, I think.
Yeah.
And that's a
Um,
fucking movie.
That's before some of their I think that's before George Clooney and Val Kilmer became
came
Batman.
along and
They'll talk about that later. But yeah, like they were starting early on in early doors with that kind of Batman universe and all the main kind of Batman TV shows.
you look at like the Batman animated series, like it's still
Yeah.
it's just still holds up. Like they're doing a restoration of it at some point. I'm like, I'm gonna.
Yeah, I've seen that.
They even had
and-
the Batman Forever.
Yeah,
I think
Batman
that
Forever
was
was so
Tim
good.
Drake based on, and like
like-
kind of futuristic. It was class as well.
Yeah.
And the one after that, what was it called? I think it was just called The Batman, and the animation was really different. And I think it was just two seasons, but all the characters were done well. They all looked great. They made the Joker this weird kind of like. The Joker was only big change. He was this kind of sort of like animalistic, like he had big green dreadlocks and stuff.
Then you had like big sleeves and stuff.
Yeah,
and, kind of
and
looked like
springy shoes. Like, but I think it was the point of like he'd been in Arkham so long that he just like completely lost it,
Gone.
like all humanity as
Because
well.
they also brought in Teen Titans.
Yeah.
The original kind of
and people
young
fucking
teen version.
love that show. They lose their absolute shit over
Well,
that show.
yeah, because it's good.
Yeah, it's
the
like-
first.
like
the
the
first
writing
one
four
was like,
seasons.
yeah, the first.
Because now they've got Teen Titans Go,
Yeah.
which is that chibi, weird kind of really derivative fart joke TV show.
Yeah, basically
So it's right up your alley,
someone's
Harry.
given the Teen Titans to Japan. They've sent it back like that.
And now we voice it.
Yeah.
But yeah, the original series was a cracking kind of teen.
I mean, they just did that
cartoon.
one last year, the Batman Ninja, where it's like Batman and all these.
Yeah, and you go to a
Japan,
Japanese universe. That's
and it's just like
such a cool concept.
and just look at all those characters designed that way,
Yeah.
and
yeah,
the story that comes from it was just so good.
I wouldn't say
And
it
I'm
was a
just
great film.
Rob's got bald patches. My favorite bit.
like, shout out to those bald patches on
Yeah.
Robin.
But there's
it was
also one.
Was it Buster from Arrested Development doing the Joker?
Yeah.
Let's also not forget Batman in the Lego movies. People seem to they love the Lego
Arnett.
Batman movie.
Who
and
plays him in the Lego?
Will Arnett.
films?
Will Arnett.
Another Arrested Development character.
Maybe that's just where they're plucking their DC universe.
They're going to
from.
have David Cross at some point to play a Batman character, and I can't wait for
The
that.
Penguin. Calling it now.
David
Oh
Cross,
no,
not-
the Riddler. It'd be the Riddler. David Cross is the Riddler.
live action Riddler.
Yeah.
I mean, could you imagine though Jason Bateman and Michael Cera as Batman and Robin?
Well, which one's Batman and which one's Robin?
They changed per episode.
Yeah.
Just swap back and forth.
Jason Bateman's like, it's my turn to be Batman today.
Michael
You were
Cera.
Batman last week.
I want to be Batman.
Why are they? Yeah, I feel like we should do this. Arrested Development cross Batman. Batman.
I mean, that
Ex-Batman.
idea is not any more ridiculous than any of the ideas the DC Universe currently have for big films. So
What's
Yeah.
the latest? The latest. Sorry, just on the animated films as well. Before we move on, the latest animated Batman film is Batman versus the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
yeah,
And I think they're going.
Neither of you look excited about that.
yeah.
It's mainly because it's the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and here's a hot shot from Gavin. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, shite. Not good. Don't like them.
I'm not going to do what Gavin does when anyone says something he doesn't like and go in a massive huff and swear.
Yeah. What are you talking about?
The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are class.
Yeah.
They're films, and after the early ones,
The first live action film, it's fun. I'll stick it on. It's a good, like, drink beers and laugh and have fun with it. And
Right, whoa.
See-
It's a film about giant turtles that are all ninjas. It's definitely not meant to be anything past drink beers and have fun.
Enjoy
True,
it.
that's fair. But I wish they'd stuck to the aesthetic of the original graphic novel, and they've never done that. They've always just done weird kind of.
Well,
joke.
the 80s cartoon like has influenced them, like
I know,
pretty much on.
and that's what
Yeah.
upsets me. I want that dark fucking David Cronenberg fucked up monster looking things that just
No, they did that in the last film though, and that was horseshit.
Shrek minus the ears.
those Michael Bay produced ones. I was like, nah.
It's not very nice to talk about Megan Fox like that.
Oh, that's not going to make it into the final. Get it? With our weird thumb toe things, which she's got.
I love that Krang was the villain, though. I honestly didn't think they were going to do Krang as the villain, because he's such a weird, just a little pink tentacly blob
In a suit.
that lives in a man suit. And for a live action film, I thought that was
I
going to
mean,
be
I
way
feel like
too
a little
weird.
pink,
And then he
dirty
turned
blob
up.
thing that lives in a man suit some days when I wake up, and I was like, ugh.
Why did April O'Neil from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles always want to bang the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
Because
Nah, she was wanting to bang Casey Jones.
No.
It was actually played by
was gonna
Stephen
say,
Amell.
played
And
by
this is
Stephen Amell.
horseshit as well.
And he just played him the same way he plays every other character, which is he's just a
Yeah, I've got some muscles.
muscles and short hair. That's Stephen Amell for you. I mean, he does a lot of great charity work, so shout out to Stephen Amell's charity work. But
Good job, Stephen Amell.
because we know you're listening,
I don't care. Michael Jackson probably did a lot of charity work. That doesn't redeem you.
it's a great point. I mean, Arrow it's doing its final season, like 10-episode run, and then it's being cancelled.
What's this, Arrow?
Yeah,
Oh, really?
it's only got one season left in it, and then they're like,
I mean, I've only been praying for like.
so is the rest of the
We,
fan
we,
base.
we've
Yeah.
talked
Do you
about
know-
this previously, though, and it's the problem with TV shows across the board where they go into it and
This
they
is
make
still
a
the Mandering
season.
Movie podcast, by the way, even though
Huh?
we're talking about TV.
Yeah,
no,
sorry.
but like we're talking about DC at the very least, and DC are bad for it in the sense that they bring out the series. They've got an idea for the first 24 episode run, and then they leave it on a cliffhanger just in case. But the cliffhanger is usually pretty tied up quite nicely.
Yeah.
Cliffhanger of something new.
Yeah.
And then next season they get, let's do another one. And then same thing happens and it's kind of not quite as good. And then they just keep running with it.
Yeah, because I think at this
indefinitely,
point
and it
with
just
Arrow,
gets poorer and poorer and poorer.
I've tuned into like, let's see what's happening in Arrow this season.
You
Oh,
definitely said you'd never seen this at the start, and you're letting go of information bit by bit here. And you're absolutely a massive fan.
Absolutely
and you're
not.
breaking inside that they're finishing it.
They'll be like, it'll be on the telly, and I was like, all right, I'll stop. Like, oh, this week, Arrow is fighting a guy in a hood with a bow and arrow. Okay, that's what he was doing last season, and it's what he'll be doing next season. Because all he does is just shoot arrows at people that look exactly like him, and it's just like,
That is one huge thing about the DC universe, though, is apart from Batman, people's general villains just seem to be a sort of
copy of
Negative
themselves.
version.
a negative version
It's like
of themselves.
it's like the end of Marvel movies where they just fight a copy of themselves,
But like how
Black Panther or Iron Man and stuff like that. They just fight like a.
Black Panther, yeah.
Iron Man also, he fights the Ironmonger. But
Yeah, but Ironmonger was like a big version of Iron Man.
Yeah, but then Iron Man 2, it's just Whiplash, but in an Iron Man suit.
And then I suppose it's like an army of drones.
Iron Mans.
Like
Yeah.
hammer drones. But in
And then-
3,
and then
it's extremist people
It's just Guy Pearce
breathing fire.
getting a paycheck.
yeah,
That's pretty much what that film was. There's
But
a
yeah,
lot of
you
people.
know what?
get-
Like I was going to argue with that, and now I'm thinking about the Marvel films, and I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, you know what?
a lot of the men were just like a cop. Like the Black Panther one might be the worst, where it's like it's two guys in black
both
suits,
wearing Black Panther suits,
and they're
yeah.
kind of indiscernible when they're both just hitting each other and.
Well,
flying
yeah,
over the
no,
place.
because one glows blue and one glows red, so you can always.
No, well, one purple and one orange, but
Oh,
when
God, sorry.
when they're underground and there's fucking lights and trains and massively bad editing, it's just like I don't know who's hitting who, and I don't care. It's
That
like,
scene
don't
was
worry, at least the
messy.
animation was strong.
oh, that's
But yeah,
Oscar burn.
you're talking about like DC TV shows where they have a great idea for the first season but don't really plan after that. That's the opposite of what the films do.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
films have always got a fucking awesome sequel planned,
Yeah.
and then they just rush out the first, like Shazam. I bet The Rock will be in the second Shazam as Black Adam. It'll probably be really strong. They probably got a great story. And like, we're gonna have to bullshit our way through the first one,
Because we got to lay the ground.
try and make enough money, and then get the second one out. But by the time the second one comes out, they've lost half the fan base because they've seen the first one.
And it goes back to something one of you said right at the beginning of this, that DC are playing catch up with their films. They're trying to emulate what Marvel have laid the groundwork for the last 16 years.
Yeah.
And they started. I'm going to hazard a guess of about 10 years after Marvel
I mean,
had started doing it properly.
Iron Man was 2007, 2008, and then they started on that train towards the Avengers movie,
Yeah.
and then DC were kind of like, oh fuck, like that's what they're
Yeah,
doing.
but they have to build it up. You have to do a film per person. You can't just be like,
Yeah,
one Superman film, Superman and Batman, and we'll mention the rest of them, and then boom, here's a film with all of them. That's not how it works.
I still can't believe it's like they did Man of Steel. First 2 acts solid, third act just an absolute mess.
Yeah.
It's like it gives you a headache watching the third act.
Michael Shannon though,
great fucking
class,
great Zod. Just him screaming the entire time. I'm totally on board for that. But then they're like, oh, how should we follow up our Superman movie? Oh, let's just do Batman v Superman and then introduce Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Flash, and Cyborg at the same time. It's like, and then Lex Luthor as well. And I'm just like,
and let's also do the death of Superman.
Yeah, let's do Doomsday as well. It's just like, what the fuck? It's like, no.
Yeah. It's also in the DC shared universe of films. In the comics and the kind of cartoons and the TV shows, they get away with it because they cordon everything off, and you know, Gotham is Batman's domain, and Supes doesn't ever go near Gotham. He sticks around in Metropolis, and it kind of makes sense in a comic book world. But in the films where everything has that extra level of realism, because they kind of go for the
and they're just
live
across the
action
bay
and
from each other, and it's like
and they're pretty close.
Batman could
it doesn't make any
drive onto
sense
a
that
ferry and just
Doomsday is there. And when the next, when Darkseid turns up, who's like the big bad of Superman's world, what the fuck is Batman going to do in the DCU universe? Because in the comics, by that point, he's got a spacesuit and he's got kryptonite firing guns and all kinds of crazy gadgets that he's been working on for ages.
But in this film,
it's a cartoon, so you can do whatever the fuck you want. But in the film, where Batman's like a human and they're all humans except Superman, Darkseid's going to turn up and Batman's going to go, oh, I'm going to go to my Batcave and make something. And by that point,
you saw
Darkseid
that
would shit all over all
with
of them.
Justice League, where in the final showdown with Steppenwolf, where it's like Wonder Woman and Aquaman going toe-to-toe, this fucking godlike thing, punching it, and Batman's just standing on a ledge like a couple of miles away, just shooting a gun, just going, and then the gun runs out of ammo, and he just throws it away and has nothing else to do. And it's like
at that point, he just pulls rank as the leader and he sends Flash for more ammo.
Doesn't he? Am I misremembering? Doesn't he bring a swarm of bats in? Is that?
I saw that film once and I just wanted to wipe
I'm the
it from
same.
my
I
memory.
swear I remember him like doing a sonar.
I mean, the
thing which
moment
pulled in,
that I
like, a
won't
swarm
forget
of
is the
bats.
moment when Superman shows up and you see a literal grin of happiness and excitement on Batman's face, and I'm like, that's not.
But that's the thing. So
here we go.
This is my big idea. Is if you're gonna do DC films properly and you're gonna do them right, Superman needs to go.
Yes.
So you can have your opening film with Superman, do the death of Superman, do it properly, and not with Michael Shannon being turned into Doomsday, but do it properly, and then Superman is dead, and then the Justice League are fighting for in his name.
I completely forgot the Zod was Doomsday.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Mental.
And that Lex Luthor
made by a human scientist
in a fucking pool of goo or something.
Yeah.
It's like,
Sorry.
But so Superman needs to go because at that point of the Justice League, like whatever the Justice League was, they were building the characters towards a team. They had their fights, they had whatever.
Yeah.
And then they're finally working as a team. And then Superman turns up, and they're like, "Oh, you guys can go now. Yeah, you guys can go."
Because in the Justice League, Superman quite literally saves the day.
I mean,
like that whole
before
sequence
he
when
even
he turns up,
before he even
it's-
saves the day, he slaps them about like they're nothing, and then goes away. And then they're in the final fight, and they're holding their own, but they're not doing great. And then Superman goes, "Well, I'm something." He has some
for
like,
justice,
for justice in the American way. And then he just walks in and goes, "Slap." Okay, well that was easy. It was
uses his ice breath.
just done.
And they really double down on just here's everything Superman can do: ice breath, laser vision, super strength, flying. None of you need to be here.
It was it was like Aquaman and Wonder Woman like fell over. Batman probably was just on his phone at that point. It's like, "Hey, Alfred, like get a couple of
Alfred,
prostitutes
run
in
me
or something
back."
like that."
Yeah.
I'll be back in half an hour.
Make sure you
Batman's
put
ordered the pizzas for the party.
He's like, "Yeah, let's get some beer pizza in, guys." Like, good job. And then Flash is probably having some sort of ADD fit in a corner somewhere, just going like, I'm crazy and weird.
Yeah.
And then Superman's just like, "Yep, I'm done.
I did it.
But
Don't worry,
like,
guys.
because
I think Flash
Superman's
on a race.
Superman's had films. Like he came first. The
Christopher Reeves films?
Christopher Reeves films.
Well, the
1978, 1980, 1983, and 1987. Let's say 1978,
That's those notes
1980.
there that Ryan was writing
Yeah,
earlier.
it's
Love
almost
you
like-
came with notes.
Let's just say
Your
let's
memory
just say
recall is incredible,
up
Ryan.
to 1980 because we're not talking about the other two.
The first two Christopher Reeves Superman movies, I'll stand by, I think are good.
Yeah, they are good.
But I think we're both in the same agreement of they break the character of Superman going forward
Yeah.
because he literally turns back time.
But then it's a problem. That's the problem with Superman. I don't want to get too much into the actual comic book. I don't want to really get into deconstructing.
But the reason
comics,
Superman at this point is
Superman
broken,
is a broken character.
but that's
from the
because
get-go.
the Christopher Reeve movies broke him. Before the Christopher Reeve movies, he wasn't a broken character.
The reason
he had limitations.
No, he's always been a broken character.
He hasn't been.
The fact he is Superman.
Oh, we're getting testy now.
Superman's
We're getting testy.
superpower- No, Superman's superpower is to be the perfect man. So whatever you throw at Superman, that's why Superman. Oh shit! There's a giant fire being coming at the Earth. What do we do? Superman now has ice breath. Oh shit! We need to laser point something, and it needs to be really precise. Well, Superman's now got laser vision. Whatever they need, Superman always has the power because that is his power. It's just always having the. It's ridiculous. That's why
but
he's a
it's now-
broken
but
superhero.
it was
It's
the
why he
Christopher
works
Reeve-
shit in films because he has no weakness other than kryptonite.
Yeah, it's the same as people argue that Superman and Wolverine are the same, but it's not because Wolverine's character progression, his background, is just better.
Yeah,
Because
Yeah,
Superman,
because he's a human.
Superman being like
Human
the
with
mightiest
human
person
issues.
in the world as well, doesn't have to whinge about it.
Yeah. Because in those fucking Zack Snyder films, I was interested that they were trying to do something with the Superman character, but he just comes off as like a whiny bitch. And it's
Yeah.
just like,
He
you're.
moans a lot.
And he's like, there's that scene, I think it's in Batman vs Superman, where he's like, he's saving people, but he looks so unhappy doing it. He's just like, oh, I'm helping these people, I'm pulling this boat, I'm saving this rocket. I'm like, fucking smile a wee bit about it. Just like people were saying to Brie Larson with Captain Marvel, smile, have a bit of fun. Just, just don't be a miserable
Do
git.
something.
We're definitely going to cut out the fact that you've just told the head women of the Me Too movement to smile more.
I mean, I'm just quoting people online and their terrible commentary. If they want her to smile, why don't they want Superman to smile? Because I would have liked to see But then they did that with Justice League.
That's misogyny
Everyone should
101.
smile more, and the world would be a brighter place.
There's nothing better than being at work and someone tell you to smile and it's just like, I can't. It's not possible.
Can.
You,
But yeah,
look pretty-
so
you would look prettier if you smiled more, Gavin.
Nah.
you wouldn't.
Oh, I've got a picture to show you earlier. Does that make sense?
Superman's going to take us
Well,
back.
technically, when people are listening to this, you have showed them the picture earlier.
That's
so
true. This is time
Power
travel.
of pre-recording.
I've got a picture that I got of me from like when I was 18 and it's horrendous.
It's so,
You showed me
it's
this.
so good.
Did
The
I?
one where he's doing this thumbs up.
Don't even for the listeners at home, it's the weakest, most uncommittal thumbs up you've ever seen in your life.
My thumb is roughly like an inch away from the rest of my hand. That's how high his thumbs up is.
And I had a mohawk and I was wearing a shirt with a hoodie on it. It was awful.
All the stuff
Good
was
kid.
bad.
Everything was bad.
Good kid.
He looks like he was made in The Sims.
I'll accept that.
With bad text.
By
to
someone
pads
who
as well.
just plays The Sims to build houses, and they're like, let's make this guy quickly so I can build a house.
Random button.
I
Roll
want
the
to have
dice.
2 kitchens in this house.
Right.
Oh, good.
Gary is now about to see the picture.
Philip is now showing Gary the photo. And that's Gary's response to the photo.
Oh, it gets better.
Oh, man.
Oh, you're really just...
Oh, Gavin.
You're really enjoying that, aren't you?
That's incredible.
Gavin has a tattoo that says music is life.
I do have tattoos. Oh, we're just all going for it now, aren't we? Wow, this is great.
Sorry.
So glad I invited you on the podcast, Ryan.
I actually also promised I wouldn't say that.
And then you didn't.
I
It is
like
the
your
greatest,
music is life
the greatest
tattoo.
regret of my life.
I
is
thought
that
it was
tattoo.
ironic.
Oh yeah. When I was
No, I don't think it is now. I thought it was.
nah,
I think sarcasm doesn't usually work well on tattoos.
nah.
On the first day I met Gary at work.
Gavin.
No, Gavin, sorry. Yeah, I've done
Hi,
that.
I'm Gary.
Sorry.
I'm Gavin.
First day I met Gavin at work, he was on a really big shift.
Yeah, I was.
And I was like, oh, you're on a bit of a shit shift today, man. And he's like, yeah, that's life. And I went, but I thought music was life.
And ever since then, so yeah, it's just on a daily basis.
Yeah, sorry. I can't not bring it up. Let's get back to films.
Yeah.
Okay, so we were talking about like how Marvel have been planning this for ages and they've implemented all these films.
They have a vision and they have someone like Kevin Feige.
They
at
do
the top.
have the vision.
Oh, I'm going to throw
Yo.
my phone at your face. And then they have Kevin Feige and other people who are clearly like, here's where we want to
Is it
take
Kevin
this.
Feige? Oh, it's Kevin Feige.
I don't. It's the same as
This
like
is another one of
it's
our
like Gal Gadot or Gal Gadot.
Kevin
I
F?
don't know.
Kevin F.
Big
Kevin F.
Big
Yeah.
Kev,
and Gal.
Big Kev, Big Gal.
Big Ton.
But then when it comes to DCEU, the person that was like leading it was I think Zack Snyder and then Jeff Johns, and it's like
Zack Snyder.
visually he's a great director. That's what
But also, as a director, visually, it's not really his job.
There's a VP for that.
The
It's like,
bit that he does, he's shit at.
it's very true. Like,
And he's like, oh, we could cut this film now. Nah, let's add an hour on.
I remember like the
How are Batman and Superman going to stop fighting? Mum's names?
oh god, I still can't get over that.
Doesn't make any sense.
Why did you say that name? That was my mum's name. Well, they were friends, and let's be friends for the rest of time because they had the same mum name.
That was
Yeah.
my mum's.
But then, because of that, we had that fucking boss scene of Batman going into that warehouse, and that's one of the best like on-screen Batman moments ever, where he just and it looks like a fucking moment from one of the Arkham games of him just annihilating those bad guys.
It's absolutely not the best moment. The best moment, Batman visually, is when Chris O'Donnell pulls Val Kilmer out that goo in Batman Forever.
Oh, yeah.
Or is it Batman or Robin? I can't remember.
That'll be Batman Forever.
Batman
'Cause it's
Forever.
Val Kilmer,
Batman
Batman
Robin was
Forever.
George Clooney.
But
Yeah.
also, so Batman and Robin came out with George Clooney on 1987, and that is the first mention of any team up ever. Because on the intro of that, when they're getting their bat nipple suits on,
Yeah, they
Yeah.
are.
George Clooney, the first thing George Clooney says, I'm pretty sure in Batman and Robin, is, "This is why Superman works alone."
Yeah, it's true.
And fangirls all across the world in the cinemas. You can't go on Reddit and check these things. Must have been like, shit, they're going to make a
They're gonna
Batman
do
and
it.
Superman film.
They're gonna do it.
And they never did.
No.
And
Well-
what they probably did is they finished watching Batman and Robin and going, nah, they're probably not.
Like, please don't. Nah. Because at one point, George Miller, who did the Mad Max films, he was going to do a Justice League film, and it was like Army Hammer was going to be Batman or Green Lantern. I can't remember which one. And they had
I watched that.
I can't remember. They had like most of a cast. Like they had their Wonder Woman cast, they had
Yeah.
their Green Lantern, they had their Batman, and then I think I don't know if George Miller did the script. I know at one point Joss Whedon did a script for a Wonder Woman film that never ended up happening, and then that script got released, and it turned out it was quite a misogynistic script that he wrote for the Wonder Woman film, which shouldn't. Yeah, that was a bit awkward.
And then Wonder Woman meets a man named James Wetton and falls in love with him.
But yeah, that Justice League film never happened. And then it came down to 2004. Christopher Nolan showed up. He's like, hey, I want to do a Batman movie. And he just fucking bossed the fucking movies. And now we get to one of Ryan's most controversial opinions, and that's the Christopher Nolan Batman films and some of the things he thinks about what I think are class, brilliant, amazing, incredible films and some of the best superhero films ever made.
Ryan, retort.
Gavin has a music his life tattoo.
Damn it, I can't argue that.
Can't win, man.
Yeah, I don't like them.
Really?
I think Batman Begins. Right. So the reason I don't like Batman Begins is because I watched it way too young and it scared the shit out of me.
Oh yeah.
The Scarecrow's,
Uh,
the Scarecrow
that's
stuff,
the reason
yeah.
I don't like Batman Begins.
Okay.
But the Scarecrow, class character because it scares the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Ra's al Ghul stuff is mental though. Liam Neeson's Ra's al Ghul is too weird.
The whole League of Shadows thing is a problem in the Nolan Batman films.
I
though.
think, but the whole like it's
There's that scene at the party where it's my favorite scene in Batman Begins, where that woman goes, "Bruce, you have to speak to my friend, Ra's al Ghul," and then Bruce goes, "Oh my god!" and then runs over to where the woman was talking, and then this weird fat Chinese bloke turns around and he goes, "Oh, thank God!" and then Liam Neeson as Ra's al Ghul taps him on the shoulder and he's like, "Looking for me?" And like, if you just take that whole scene and think about what Ra's al Ghul has set up, he's got that weird Chinese guy to go around that party and say, "I'm Ra's al Ghul," hoping that then someone would go, "Bruce, come meet my friend Ra's al Ghul," so that he can then stand just to the side and surprise Bruce Wayne.
or what's happened is that there's been a party and Ra's al Ghul is friends with that woman, like Liam Neeson's character. And Christian Bale has just racistly assumed that the first Asian man he sees is definitely called Ra's al Ghul. His name's probably like Timothy Thompson or something. And he's going,
Thompson.
"Chinese guy, that's Ra's al Ghul."
Yeah, she's probably thinking
She's
that's
made a
Ra's al
mistake.
Ghul.
That'll be Ra's al Ghul.
God, she's
He's
so
gone up and been like, "Oh,
racist.
hey, Ra's," and he's like, "What? Who? I know you're Bruce Wayne because you're famous, but my name's Timothy." And then Ra's al Ghul's like, "It's over here, Bruce. Do you want to just ignore that really racist moment you just had?"
Because
Yeah.
$10 million.
Yeah.
Just forget about that.
But yeah, so
and
Bizarre
then they drop
scene.
a house on top of them.
moving on to The Dark Knight, a brilliant, brilliant film,
Damn right it is.
but it doesn't need to be a Batman film. So my point is that it's not a good superhero film because The Dark Knight would be a good film without Batman and the Joker. You replace Batman with like a hard-hitting cop and the Joker with like a psychopath sort of Buffalo Bill character, it's still going to be a good film. The aspects of Batman and the Joker are not crucial to the film. If anything, they're the weakest points.
But I also feel like
I'll give you that. Actually, I never thought about it that way. But yeah, you're right. The Nolan's Batman films,
They don't
even
need to
the first
require.
one, they don't need to be Batman.
They don't need to
films.
require Batman.
Yeah.
But Michael Mann already made Heat, which is a fucking class film. I've stolen the word class from you now. You fucking put that into my vocabulary, and I don't like that.
It's better
I'm
than
gonna
dog
be,
shit.
It is better. It's the opposite of dog shit.
but
Class.
Michael Mann made Heat, and that's what that film is. Like,
Yeah, it
what is
is.
what you're talking about. And then Christopher Nolan went, well, I'm doing a Batman film, but Heat is so good that I'm just going to take the elements of Heat and put it into a Batman film and create something even better. And that is
I
The
just
Dark
feel
Knight.
that instead of like Christopher Nolan's got the job, and instead of him doing any proper research into comic books in any way, he's gone, I'm just going to make 3 really, really good movies with good plots, and I'll add the characters in later.
I mean, I think with the Nolan films, unfortunately, Batman is the weakest element
Yeah.
because, I mean, Christian Bale's a great actor. I think he's a better Bruce Wayne than he is a Batman because as a Batman, he doesn't really ever come across on screen as Batman.
His helmet's so wide, it really annoys me.
I mean, I like the suit in the second one because it's like tactical and like useful and stuff like that. And they tried to, and he does some cool stuff like when he goes to, is it China, Hong Kong? And
Yeah,
there's,
when
like,
the off the building stealth bit. Yeah,
it's
that's
so,
really cool.
It's so fucking cool. But obviously, the reason The Dark Knight is the film that people talk about and it's still resonant to now
Tangerine.
is big old Heath Ledger as the Joker, which once again I know Ryan has some opinions on Heath Ledger's Joker.
He's just Tom Waits in makeup.
I mean,
If Heath Ledger
so-
wasn't dead,
So here's the thing, actually. I'm kind of in the. I'm not. Heath Ledger's performance in that film is a great performance. I don't
Yes, it
think
is.
it's a great Joker, though. I've
I
never
think it's an
thought that.
absolutely brilliant Joker.
Jared Leto's Joker's better. I'm kidding on.
It's definitely not.
I'm joking.
He saw the room turn in an instant. I don't think so. I think Heath Ledger's Joker in that film, it's a great performance. I just don't know. I've always kind of been like, I don't get it as a.
Yeah, like
What don't you like about it?
I think. I don't know. It's been so long since I've seen these films, and I'm kind of going off what
I think I
used to
watch them once every
about.
year. I just go
Yeah.
back and
So I'm gonna try and articulate this, even though it's like I remember my opinion. I don't know if I can remember the full ins and outs of it, but I just remember, and it's the same kind of what you're saying. It's the films don't really feel like Batman films in their entirety almost, and because of that, it just, you're right. They kind of just feel slapdash hashed together. And Heath Ledger's Joker, I think he just didn't ever feel like a Joker. I don't know how to articulate it better than that, other than he just didn't feel.
I mean,
They don't feel faithful to the comic
In
characters.
fact, you know what it is. Actually, you know what it is. Yeah, you're actually right. They're not faithful to the comic characters, and that's my bigger problem with them. Is that they're too gritty and realistic when
Yeah.
they're meant to be comic book characters.
the realism went too far. Like instead of
Yeah.
having the paint on the face, they went with scars and stuff like that, and it's all about the scars. And he brings up his parents and all that kind of stuff. And like, but essentially, they just make the Joker an anti-Batman. Like he's the same character as Batman. If Batman had gone down a different route, like there were so many people who had theories that the Joker is actually like Batman, and Batman is not Batman, like and stuff like that when Dark Knight came out.
That's
And-
a shit theory. People
yeah, I
had
know,
there.
but like.
Isn't Batman for about 4 nights in the entirety of the Nolan verse?
No wonder. He's getting barred about and he's got a full-time job. Why has he got time?
if you piece it all together, he's only Batman for. I think
Through
the Dark
all
Knight.
3 movies.
Yeah, over 3 movies, but he's not. If you actually look at the time he spends, he's not Batman for very long.
No.
Because he retires, doesn't he? He retires after Batman Begins.
No, he retires after. Well, technically after Dark Knight, he goes for a wee bit longer, but then retires.
And then he comes back.
There's like a 7-year gap between Dark Knight and
Because his
Dark Knight
knee's got
Rises.
no cartilage. And then Dark Knight Rises, he's Batman for another like 2-3 nights, and then he fakes his death.
And goes to prison.
He's not Batman for long in the Nolan verse. He's
But
more.
the big thing about most Batman comics is, and most Batman retires a lot.
Batman does retire.
I mean, it's
But he
fair.
also is just clearly addicted to violence.
He's just a dude who likes hurting people
Yeah.
and also gets fucked up and hurt.
he
a
also
lot.
he also loves killing people, but with his.
But
I
doesn't.
don't kill people. Well, you let that guy die. Yeah, but I didn't kill him. I just didn't save him.
I didn't stop him dying.
Yeah, it's not my fault he fell out of a window.
That's a manslaughter charge, Bruce Wayne.
No. He shouldn't have been a criminal. It's not my fault.
I mean, as apparently the only person in the room who loves the Nolan films and think they're great.
I love.
I like the Nolan films.
Yeah.
Three brilliant crime films.
You're not hearing us. The films are brilliant. It's just they're not great Batman films.
But I would say the only bad thing to come from the Nolan films is
The third one?
nope. I'll stand by the third one. I'll stand by it. I'll stand by Tom Hardy's weird voice choice and everything. Now we're just going to do Bane impressions for the rest of the podcast. Just settle in, everyone.
I want to do Alfred impressions.
Oh, yes, say your Alfred's one.
Yes, see? I see two boys playing with a tangerine the size of a tangerine.
I love
Best
that
bit.
so much.
Best
It
bit in the whole
brings me
film.
happiness. But back to seriousness now, Gary, because we're talking
Master
about
White.
serious. Don't do it. Yeah, the thing that I feel the only negative point to come from the Nolan films is they went for the serious, gritty, like grounded kind of style, and then DC went, well, that worked for those three films that made a bunch of money.
Yeah.
So we'll now just
Turn
carry
on its
that
head.
on
Yeah.
to the rest of our.
Hey, look, you brought us back. Brought us back to the DCEU.
But then also, like,
well done.
when they've
Professional.
done
Golden Star.
what they've done with Suicide Squad, it's gone, oh shit, they've made those dark films.
But I think
Let's turn that on its head and make
even
it
the
bright.
DCEU. So, and just for anyone that doesn't know, the DCEU is the collective universe of DC films that are all tying into one another.
Starting from Man of Steel and
Starting
going
from
up
Man of
to
Steel, going to
Shazam.
now, and at one point including Suicide Squad, but they've now retconned it and decided that Suicide Squad doesn't exist in the
Well,
universe,
what
right?
DC has done
That's
now
exactly what I've done.
it's what we've
That's
all
what we've all
done.
done because it's terrible.
Is what DC have done now is they've decided, well, this universe hasn't worked. We've failed the universe, so now we're just going to can it and just do standalone kind of movies that have a kind of broad connection somewhat.
Here's my thoughts on the DCEU. So Marvel, and I'm going to draw the parallel. Marvel have always done well at making their characters have dark moments, but then like coupled quite well with light moments, and that's pretty much Iron Man, Thor, Hulk. They all have dark elements, but then a lot of it ties into the brightness and the lightness of Marvel. That's
There's
how
hope
a lot
at
of
the
their
end of the tunnel.
and it's like pretty much how all their characters go. DC haven't done that. Batman is dark. Superman usually light, pretty much through and through. Wonder Woman kind of has a smattering. The Flash is a goofy character with a few dark moments, but they are far more like stark contrast between each of these worlds. And I think that's why these films aren't working, because you bring in a dark Batman, great, everyone's happy with that, and then you got to try and tie in Superman to that, and you make Superman dark, and then people go, wait, well, no, but that's not Superman. And then you bring in the Flash being all goofy and ridiculous, because that's what the comics are like, but you put it into this dark universe you've created, and people go, oh, that just seems fucking bizarre.
He just seems nervous.
It just seems nervous. Like, why is that happening? And then Aquaman comes into it, and that's its own
Yeah,
stylistic
Aquaman
choice.
fucking-
And it like none of it's meshing well together, because the comics, they separate them. And when they do the Justice League comics, Batman is the dark,
yeah.
here's my grey morals, and then the rest of them have their very contrasting opinions that
But they find a balance
they find a balance
within the
all-
comic panels.
Yeah, all together. But on film, it's just not working, because films don't work that way. A comic can last, months, years, like a storyline, decades. Whereas you've got 2.5 hours to try and portray this massive, this mass of different opinions and outlooks of these characters, and it just doesn't. And that's why I think they're struggling.
I mean,
So what you're saying is we need a Justice League trilogy.
Fundamentally, but we need a Justice League trilogy coupled with a bunch of standalone films that just nail what they want to do.
Yeah.
So make the Superman movie, but make it light and airy,
And then, like, the thing Marvel did as well is, like, in, say, Age of Ultron, you've got Avengers who are not promised films. So
Yeah.
all these Justice League characters, like, we're going to give them films eventually. But you're allowed to have characters like Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch, for instance, who we're not going to give them films. They might, at one point, Quicksilver obviously doesn't, spoilers, but they might at one point... Might,
for Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Because he dies.
a lot. But yeah, like, there's no characters in that, so they could have. There's loads of characters in the DCEU that they could have on the side.
Yeah.
And
Bring him in.
There's Young Justice League and stuff as well. They
Got
could have brought that
Martian
aspect in.
Manhunter. Cyborg doesn't need his own film.
Yeah.
100%.
Cyborg definitely doesn't need his own
Doesn't
film.
need his own film. And that weird, gritty backstory they gave him of, just doesn't need it. Doesn't need it. Like, stop trying to build that one up. But yeah, there's so many. Martian Manhunter. There's so many of the whole Lantern Corps.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, they didn't bring any Green Lanterns in it. I think everyone's just leaving that alone after Ryan Reynolds' film, though.
But why? I don't get it. Like, Green Lantern's such a good character.
Yeah, and like
And
he's
he
also
works so well, because in the comics, he works so well with, like, the Flash, doesn't he? Where they're all buddy, like, super goofy
and also like
comic relief.
I can't remember his name, but Ryan Reynolds' Green Lantern,
Hal Johnson.
Jordan
Hal Jordan, sorry. Yeah.
is not the only Green Lantern.
Yeah,
like
There's
there's
also
so
Johnny
many.
Stewart
There's so
and-
many.
Yeah, there's loads, and they just rushed out like Sinestro and stuff like that, and yeah, that was a film that they're like, right, we're gonna take this away. Definitely wasn't.
Good. Definitely wasn't good.
Definitely no, yeah, yeah. I was trying to think of another way to do it, but yeah, definitely wasn't good.
It wasn't class.
It was not. It was the opposite
So,
of that. It was dog shit.
And
Yeah.
and bringing us back all the way to the beginning. So this is why I'm interested with Shazam, because although it does look dark in places, I'm interested in seeing them do this goofy, stupid, flossing, boner
But
joke.
Do you know
film.
why I'm not interested? Is because every single DC film is an attempted course correction and building of new paths, and it's a failure every time. Because like,
But this one might not be, because it's not, because you're right normally, because they're all these dark, gritty, and they're trying to shovel the puzzle pieces into the Justice League. Whereas this one, they're going, Shazam, here's a brand new film. We're trying something new with it.
I know,
If
but
it
they
works,
did that
it works.
with Aquaman, where it's just like,
But Aquaman, they already had to shoehorn in, because they'd already given you the Justice League and
But, like,
the beginning.
the
bit
mental
of
thing is like, if you watch Man of Steel and Batman v Superman back to back, which don't do that because
It's a long time.
yeah, do other things in your afternoon. There's like people out there, hang out with someone, do
Yeah.
like anything. But those two films feel like they exist in a similar universe. But then the Wonder Woman film, like, I didn't feel like it didn't exist. Like, it just didn't feel like it was in those two other films that come before. Then Suicide Squad, it's like that's a whole other fucking planet those people are on, clearly.
And they were
Because-
like, let's just put a Ben Affleck in there. Like, they're like, oh, how are we going to like this? And like, oh, let's shit see Ben
Yeah,
Affleck.
so it's
Yeah.
chucking Batman. And then you get to Justice League, and I'm like, this feels like a film, like the first film in a like new series. This doesn't feel like it's connected to anything that's come before, because it's like two directors with two vastly different styles just trying to do something that just doesn't work. And then you get to fucking Aquaman, and I'm like, what fucking world does Aquaman live in the same place as Batman or Superman? It's
Nah,
like,
do you want an out there one with no confirmed universe, but a character from DC that has no link?
sure.
We're going 2004 Catwoman.
Fucking
2004 Halle Berry Catwoman. What is that?
what that is,
That was odd.
is the basketball scene. I always come back to the basketball scene in that movie.
I can't. I cannot talk about it. I watched that film once when I was a kid, and I know it was weird, and I remember being changed by it. But
Been changed by it. Like,
I remember it changing
you
something.
got things
in
for
me.
cats or something like that. I mean, there's a
Halle
clear
Berry.
pussy joke in here, but I'm not going to go for it. It's too easy.
I mean, and not going for it though. You've gone for
I know,
it.
that's
Yeah.
what I do. That's,
But
that's
what
my
a,
style of
but yeah,
comedy.
like what a weird stylistically choice for a film. But then that was the time when it was, let's choose superheroes from
Like,
random
the
and make a
fucking
film about them.
Elektra had a movie. Why?
Yeah.
Why did Elektra have a movie?
So I think, kind of coming up to time on this. So final thing to talk about would be how do you guys think DC could fix this? Be it a just scrap it all, start from fresh, or what would you want to see them do that could get you back into the DC universe?
Well, I always said that if Justice League was a bad movie, that I was done with this universe of films. And Justice League, I think, is the worst of all of them. So I was
Worse
like,
than Aquaman?
oh, definitely worse than Aquaman. There's like some redeemable elements to Aquaman, like the VFX team that worked on that and the
Yeah.
costume design.
The suit looks good.
Yeah,
they
like
made the suit look good.
The
They
entire art
transferred that.
department
Yeah.
deserve all of the praise in the world for making that film look as great as it did. But it's like, I don't care anymore. And it's like the Shazam movie, couldn't give two fucks. I guess I'll go see it because I can talk about it in the podcast and or I can write about it at ramblingscotsman.com. Heavy plug there. It's a great wee plug. Just thanks for everyone. Just
You need to stop saying plug after you plug yourself. though.
no, because then people don't know that I'm plugging myself.
They
Oh, they know.
definitely know by
They
now.
know.
man.
Okay, good. Well, that's good. But and then there's that Joaquin Phoenix Joker standalone movie, which like everything they've shown so far looks interesting, but it's also like I don't really
care.
I don't need a standalone Joker movie.
Yeah.
I don't need an origin for the Joker either.
So like I think what you've got 7 confirmed new releases.
It's going to be a Batman.
Shazam, Joker, Birds of Prey, another Wonder
Birds of
Woman,
Prey.
The Batman, The Suicide Squad, and Aquaman 2.
It's too many.
I want of all of them, because I'm a big old Batman fanboy geek. I'll love to watch the Batman movie, but I don't give 2 shits about any other film on that list.
Well, obviously, Birds of Prey is from Batman Universe.
But isn't the Birds of Prey one just going to be the kind of Harley Quinn /
Poison Ivy.
Yeah, basically,
You know,
Poison
and like-
Ivy, Black Canary.
And we already know that. Well, I already know that Gary absolutely hates Margot Robbie's interpretation of Harley Quinn.
I'm on board.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. It's terrible.
I don't think it's.
Do you know what's terrible? Harley Quinn as a character.
That's fair.
Is weak and boring, and she's clearly in there to make girls feel involved and to sexualize her for
Yeah.
boys who weren't involved.
They
She's just a
did-
sexual
yeah.
element.
She's a double agent for the patriarchy.
Wow,
I mean,
that's a great way.
they did try and like fix her to a degree in I think a more recent run of comics, but the damage is done.
She had an animated with it was Batman and Harley Quinn, and she works horseshit.
Yeah, that was.
She's a terrible character, and she shouldn't exist.
Literally, the only reason that standalone movie is happening is because Margot Robbie's attached, and she's a big name.
Yeah,
that will
she's a
draw-
huge name.
She'll draw people
And
in.
it's annoying that they've done it for Batman as well, because Batman has famously huge female villains. They didn't need another one.
Yeah.
Like, she's not required. All they've done is gone, the Joker's the best villain, let's make a female version of the Joker.
Yeah.
Instead of
With
going,
big tits.
let's make Poison Ivy better, or let's make like Talia al Ghul and stuff like that. They have these huge characters that are really great and evil as fuck.
Do a live action Mask of the Phantasm, and then
Yeah.
fucking that'll be.
So this is but it's you saying it. This is my solution to the DC. They stop. My solution is they stop
Well, that's
doing
not
live
gonna happen.
actions.
Look how much money Aquaman just made. They ain't stopping.
Yeah, they're not going to stop.
My solution is they stop doing the live actions and they just double down. They give the fucking budget to the animated section and just give us banging animated movies where they've got the licenses for all the characters, so they
Yeah.
can bring in Martian Manhunter,
Big Marvin Manhunter.
for a bit part or for half the film, whatever.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. They can go weird and wacky with it because why the fuck not? I mean, I can't remember the name of it, but there's that animated one which is where the is it the Doom? I can't remember, but somebody gets hold of all of Batman's contingency plans for the Justice
Vandal
League.
Savage.
Randall Savage, that's
Yeah.
it. And they get hold of all of Batman's contingency plans
And
for the Justice
yeah,
League,
it's
wreak havoc on the Justice League.
Yeah.
The Justice League are completely fucked because Batman's the smartest one. He's sorted
Fucks
these.
them over.
And then I think who is it that gets out first? Somebody gets out first, and Batman goes, "Shit!" Like,
Yeah.
shit. Great film. And then
It's
they have
really
to have
good.
this whole element of Batman coming clean and being like,
yeah.
This is my
I
plan.
planned these.
I know
You're
what's
all
going
dangerous.
on. I don't know who's done it, but these are my plans.
Yeah.
I've got contingencies for my contingencies, but you're gonna have to help me. And they're all kind of going, "Oh, what the fuck? Like, I want all that. I want bigger budget versions of that stuff."
And then he hires like all like the biggest villains of that. So like Bane is for Batman, and like
Yeah.
Cheetah's there for Wonder Woman, etc. And it's really good. Like it flows well. But I think until this year, no one had any faith in superhero films animated. And then they've released Into the Spider-Verse, and now
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
people can go, shit, maybe we can do this animated.
do it.
Don't
We're going to
have
get Green Lantern into the Lanternverse.
Was it Daffy Duck
Daffy Duck.
as a Green Lantern?
There you go.
Give me that.
Yeah.
You seen that?
No.
Daffy Duck is an honorary Green Lantern. He picks up one of the Lantern's rings and becomes a Green Lantern for.
Where? What?
Oh, God, man,
In a
it's
crossover somewhere.
Yeah, it's one of the.
Surprised you've not just dipped into it on TV, but you're not a fan.
You know, I like to just dip into things.
Before we finish, there are 3 DC comic films that are passable. 2 are passable, one's pretty short.
Sorry, before you move on, he's called the Green Lantern.
Wow.
Someone's
God.
thought of Green Lantern before that.
Oh yeah, that was a joke, and then let's figure out what we can do with it rather than it being.
They've had a meeting and they've sat down with the
They're
Looney
like-
Tunes and right, somebody's getting Lantern Corps. Daffy, you've got now going for you.
It's you, big son. You're going up to the big leagues.
You're just Donald without the sailor's license.
Sorry, you were saying there's a couple
so
of DC films.
DC has pushed out some good films, but it's not in the same universe. So, V for Vendetta is a DC comic.
And it's
In terms of interpretation from comic book to screen, it's great.
I was never That film just never worked for me.
It's like
That's because people liked it, so Gavin obviously hated it.
Fuck you.
they didn't show it in art school, so it's a pretty specific, like it's a very specific universe, and it's almost that kind of 12 Monkeys vibe universe, and it's hard to get on board with that. But I think from the comic to the screen, it felt very much streamlined until they fucked the ending. The Watchmen was the same. I know why they changed the ending, because the ending in the comics is mental, but
Yeah,
I felt
a big giant.
They kept
octopus
it. They kept it thematically the same.
yeah, but the characters look great. It was pretty much scene for scene right up until the end. It was
I'll
awesome.
stand by that Watchmen movie. I think it's
so good.
I think it's
Yeah.
one of Snyder's best films,
Yeah.
and it's just because it's literally like he just takes the panels and just puts them on the screen.
Yeah.
And great casting, and I'm violent, dark,
Big Blue Dong.
big blue dong.
And
Wolf.
yeah, but Dr. Manhattan looks great as well for like the CGI development at that time. Like he's come across really well.
Yeah.
And then I can't believe he's the same guy that made Martha. And that's all I'm gonna say.
But it's also got that great line of like,
Yeah.
"I'm not trapped in here with you. You're trapped in here with me." And I just
Yeah.
love that moment because
Yeah,
like
'cause
fucking
it's so-
Rorschach in that movie.
It's so good.
It's just brutal.
Rorschach.
Rorschach.
That sounds
That's
like a street shark.
Yeah.
Rorschach. Rorschach.
Oh shit! Stop picking at me.
And then the last one that was really good. It was a terrible, terrible film, but the comic was also terrible. Was when they made Jonah Hex in 2010.
Oh yeah, with Josh
With
Brolin. and
Josh Brolin's
Megan
Josh
Fox.
Brolin's come into the DC. He's done that film. He's going, I'm going to do at least 2 Marvel films to get back at you for this.
Well, I guess 3 because he did Deadpool. Oh no, he's Deadpool, Endgame, Infinity War.
Yeah, I was mentioning Thanos and Cable was my 2 characters.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I don't know what happened in my head there. I'll
Yeah.
just shut up.
Okay.
But yeah, so
So yeah, our solutions are double down on the animation.
I think like
You think
if you're gonna do the big screen, it needs completely recast. Like they always carry someone over. Like someone's always gonna carry. Like there's enough actors and actresses in the world.
I'd be up for them doing a Disney and
Yeah.
just kind of grabbing a bunch of unknowns and
Yeah.
building them up.
building them up.
Yeah, that's what when they do this standalone Batman film, I'm fully of the opinion like just go unknown. Don't go for a Ben Affleck. Don't
Yeah.
go for a Christian Bale. Don't go for a George Clooney.
Yeah.
Go for.
John Hamm,
I mean, Philip would absolutely love if it's John Hamm.
or I'll take Richard Armitage as well.
I mean, just
Who would be a good Batman?
That's,
there you go.
That's a podcast episode.
Final thoughts, really quick. Who would be your ideal Batman?
Let's do Ideal Wolverine as well. While you're at it.
Why not? Go on.
I mean, I need like some.
Go.
It doesn't work with that, Gary. I can't
Go on. Name someone.
Oh, okay. Batman. Well, for Wolverine, Tom Hardy. Done. That's easy. I want. Don't shake your head like that. He's short and stumpy and muscly, and he's just fucking. And he's nuts as well. So is Wolverine. See whether there you thought about character Wolverine.
My only problem with Tom Hardy is I think he proved from his second character in Legend when he plays Ronnie Cray, and his character in Peaky Blinders where he's meant to be crazy in both. He kind of does that all the same.
Yeah.
His crazy has one crazy, and he's kind of portrayed it in the same way in
That's
both.
fair.
So I'm not
But
sure
then what about
he's not
Bronson?
going to turn up to be in like Wolverine, like just do the same voice he does in. Definitely in Batman before
You
they
know,
warped
like
it.
when he's like that meeting with Tom Hardy. It's like, oh, hey Tom, I want you to be Wolverine. He's like, all right, cool, but I want to do whatever voice I want. And they're like, okay, and he just comes in. Hello, I'm Wolverine. It's like, Tom, no, this is
No, it's in the contract. I'm doing the voice I want.
You said I could. All right. Tom Hardy for Wolverine for Gav. Who's your Batman?
Oh, I want to. Fuck it, give Armie Hammer a shot. The man deserves
I'm
it.
fine with that.
I'm fine with that. That's a good
Because
fucking
you know
shout.
he'd be a fucking amazing Bruce Wayne, and he can get in shape to be Batman. No bother.
That's your main problem with Batman is like Bruce Wayne and Batman are such different characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes I almost talk about casting them differently. But my one thing I want, if in the next Batman film, and we've spoken about this before, is stop showing Batman's eyes.
Yeah.
It kills the character dead. Like there's no comic where you can see Batman's eyes. For some reason,
yeah.
they keep that human element in, and I think the fact that
Deadpool's doing it well now.
yeah, you still realize he's human, and it's shit. Like the whole point of Batman is he's meant to be this demon, scary aspect. Like you can see his eyes. Like I can see Christian Bale's little peepers looking at me through that thick ass helmet. Like it's not like you need to get rid of his eyes. They can do it, but that's too not realistic for DC. They need to tone down on their realism.
Yeah, totally.
That's the thing.
Go animated.
Go
fully
comic,
animated.
just go fun.
So you're Wolverine and Batman?
I'll just take my 2 selections there. I'd have John Hamm Batman, and I'd put Richard Armitage Wolverine.
That's pretty good.
Well, he's a bit tall, but I don't mind.
I'm gonna go Joseph Gordon-Levitt for Wolverine.
That's awful.
I don't think so. I think that'd be
Real
fucking.
awful.
I think that'd be an awesome one. He'd have to get fucking ripped for it, but I think Joseph Gordon-Levitt would be a kick-ass Wolverine.
And what world do you think the guy from 500 Days of Summer and Don John would be a good Wolverine?
I think he
You
would.
picked his two worst films there.
I think Joseph Gordon-Levitt as Wolverine would be a fucking sweet one.
I can't believe Joseph Gordon-Levitt's got away with this podcast. Like, he didn't get bullshit, like, shat on for his performance in the third Batman film. Because, his name's Robin, he must be Robin.
Robin.
They don't get, it's not his first name. He's not called Superman Kent. Like, that's not how it works.
That's a great point. Yeah, that was real bad when they did that. I was like, oh no, because
I'm trying to think of a Batman. I can't think of one.
just do Joseph Gordon-Levitt as both your answers because he might have been Batman.
Why
if
don't you
that-
have another terrible actor, like Jake Gyllenhaal? There you go.
Don't you ever come at Jake Gyllenhaal.
I'm not coming out as an actor, but he's a terrible choice for Batman.
Oh yeah, he should not be Batman.
I'd take him as Wolverine.
Yeah, I could take him
He
as
got
Wolverine.
ripped as fuck for Southpaw.
Yeah.
And he's a small guy.
I'd take him as Wolverine, but he's too pretty for Batman.
But I'd also take him as a Joker. If he just transforms his character from Nightcrawler into like a Batman film.
I want
Be a decent Joker.
Jake Gyllenhaal could be a Batman villain. Just give him.
Audio boy? Wolverine?
I would also. John Hamm is my Bruce Wayne. I don't know
Wayne.
about the actual Batman part of it. My Wolverine is Yosemite Sam.
Or what about the Scottish guy from The Simpsons?
Willie.
Kransky from Willie.
Yeah.
Yep.
That'd be an interesting one.
I'd be up for that.
Anyone, like, trivia, the best time the Joker was portrayed on screen? You know the answer to this.
Wait, what do you mean? Is this actual trivia or is this
The best time the Joker was portrayed on screen, in your opinion?
Is this on
Okay,
The
sweet.
Simpsons?
No.
Well, it's Mark Hamill.
Nah, this person was better. The best time the Joker was portrayed on screen was when Willem Dafoe played the Green Goblin in the first Sam Raimi Spider-Man film.
It's so true. It's so true.
He literally praised the Joker for the entire film.
Yeah, it's
The
true.
talking to himself, voices in his head, the lot.
All right,
Like anytime
We're gonna have to
you see-
wrap.
Oh, I just want. But we didn't even get to the fucking Joel Schumacher fucking Batman movies and we didn't even talk about Tim Burton's Batman.
We're gonna
Yeah, we
have to-
didn't.
We're gonna have to come back. We're gonna have to come back. We are at time. We're at capacity. It's been a long one.
I think we can.
Has been a long
How
one.
long's it been going?
69 minutes.
We're over the hour. We got to wrap.
Can we wait till 70 though? Because I'm not.
I don't want to end
With,
at
with
60.
Yeah,
rapping,
don't
with
worry.
rapping,
I'll probably
it'll
cut
be
something
7.
down, so it'll go down anyway.
We'll be
Don't
good.
worry
As long
about
as
it.
it's not 69 minutes, I don't mind.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. So that is it. That's it from us today. We might have to get you back in, Ryan, for another
That's fine.
shot at the DC
You'll have to
world.
come all the way back home from.
Ah,
We'll
shit.
take a trip out to Isla.
Yeah, do it. Come over.
Bring all the
Wait,
technology.
I just want to feel that audiences should realize I don't live there now. You've not flown me out. We're doing this in a living room. It's not as professional
This
as
is
it
Hollywood.
sounds.
No, this is our studio.
Yeah, it's a studio. Okay.
Fucking.
Studio audience.
It's a studio apartment.
That's it from us. We have been the Meandering Movie Podcast. Thank you so much for listening. We are still looking for reviews on iTunes.
Do we have any new ones?
I am not sure, actually. Let me have a wee peek, shall I? But yeah, we're still looking for reviews. If you've enjoyed the show, please let us know. If you've got a topic you'd love us to cover, get in touch. You can get in touch with us. I'll let Gavin do this bit.
You can go to Twitter at meanderingpod. You go to Facebook, facebook.com/meanderingmoviepodcast. That's the same for Instagram. Email is meanderingmoviepodcast@gmail.com. And then I think those are all the plugs. Ryan, do you want to do any personal plugs?
Yeah, thank you very much for coming in, Ryan.
You're welcome. I don't mind. I'm not.
You should
I don't need
Go
to.
for it, man.
I've got an Instagram, Ryan Campbell Photo.
go to his Instagram because the boy is quite the photographer. He can take a picture.
He
like,
sure is.
He's quite amazing. Just
And do you want to just say that again without Gavin talking
I'm
over
sorry.
it?
It's a Ryan Campbell Photo.
Brilliant.
Easy.
Thank you very much,
Go-
Ryan.
go-
Yeah,
go check that out.
review of the week. A genuinely funny and weirdly informative podcast. Love how angry Gav gets and how Gary valiantly stands up to him. Love the banter.
Valiantly? I'm sorry.
Have you written this yourself, Gary?
No, love the banter and how it really is a Meandering Movie Podcast. Roll on Thursday, and that was from Cjat Tanagra. So thank you very much, Cjat Tanagra.
I'm not happy. I mean, thank you for the review, but valiantly stands up to me.
It's because you're a dick.
I'm not. Well,
You're
I-
currently being a dick right now because one guy said that. You're actually such a little bitch, Gavin. Anytime anyone says something you don't like, you're just
I'm quite a little bit.
Thank you so much for listening, everyone. We'll be back next Thursday. Thank you for listening, and goodbye.
music is life.
It's meandering movies. It's meandering movies. It's meandering movies. So